rad family! Quite a few of you have been asking for another creepypasta video, so today I'm doing just that. So here's the Creepiest Creepypasta Part 5. If you haven't seen 1 through 4 yet, links will be down in the description below, as well as links to the original creepypastas mentioned in the story. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up! So let's get to it! Number 5. One-way doors. Alleyways are lined with doors that seem to lead nowhere. By chance, in said alleyway, you encounter a door that seems out of place. Its aged wood is carved with intricate detail. This is known as a one-way door. Something about this door draws you closer, almost like it begs to be opened. Caving into curiosity, you turn the heavy doorknob. The room behind the door is caked in darkness. You step through the doorway and blink several times for your eyes to adjust. When your vision finally clears, you realize you're standing back in the alleyway facing the door you just walked through moments before. Turning the knob once again, you find it to be locked. Perplexed as to what just happened, you decide it's best probably just to leave. Turning around, you find a man walking towards the same door, showcasing the same amount of curiosity you had minutes ago. You tell him the door is locked, but he doesn't seem to hear you. Instead, he keeps heading towards the door and walks right through you. A sense of terror jolts through your bones. You whip around to face the man just as he swings open the door. But as he steps into the room, his foot never finds ground. He falls 30 feet to his death. His body lands at the bottom of a pit neatly next to yours. Number 4. Support call ID 100156-03. A man contacts his cell phone provider to report a few disturbing issues with his phone. The conversation starts off very typical until he's asked what the problem is. Something went wrong during his last update. For instance, when he looks up nearby restaurants, it only shows graveyard locations. What's more disturbing than that, his pictures have all been replaced by those of mutilated corpses. Obviously upset, he demands to know why this is happening, but the rep ignores his questions and says he needs to know what version of software his phone is running. Luckily, the man had written it down, Android 223 Flesh. After hearing these words, the rep immediately puts the man on hold to talk to his supervisor. He comes back moments later telling the man he needs to update his phone again. Pleased to know it'll be fixed. He says he'll do it later tonight because his daughter is currently using it. The rep is adamant that the man take his phone away from his daughter and update the software immediately. Offended by the rep's demanding tone, the man once again begins to explain that he can't, but he is interrupted by the rep's urgent tone. Someone bypassed the firewall and has released an unknown update that can affect incoming and outgoing calls. Some users have expressed severe side effects, so it is absolutely crucial that he ends the call and updates his software right now. And after this warning, the company refuses to take responsibility for any harm that's done to his family. Panicked, the man runs to his daughter's room, where he finds her sitting on her bed unresponsive with blood pouring out of her eyes and ears. The rep can be heard on the other end of the line demanding that the man leave his daughter and his house. The man continues to walk closer to his daughter. The rep tells him to lock any doors behind him as he leaves the premises. The man reaches to take the phone away from her, and she quickly lunges at him, tearing a huge chunk of skin from his hand. First, there's shrieks of pain and terror, and then the line goes silent. The rep finishes the conversation thanking the man for his call, and that a specialist contractor and cleanup crew will arrive shortly. He apologizes for any inconvenience caused before hanging up. Number 3, call me tomorrow, okay? Still no text. I knew he wasn't gonna call me back. I came off too strong yesterday. I just couldn't help it. He had luscious dark hair and piercing blue eyes, and his smile lit up the room. I would kill for that smile just to shine for only me. Maybe I should call and apologize for my behavior yesterday. No, I'll wait. He promised me he would call. Oh, maybe he's shy and he doesn't know what to say. That makes sense. Okay, that has to be it. He's so adorable. I'll just drop by his house and tell him how silly he is for being scared. He lives on a secluded farm about 30 minutes from the outskirts of town. He told me his parents were out of town this weekend and that it's up to him to take care of the animals. Poor guy. He's probably too tired from all the the work to call me. He doesn't answer the door when I knock. Maybe he fell asleep? Luckily for him, the door's unlocked. I creep through his house as quietly as I can. I can't wait to see his face when I surprise him. I carefully open the door to see him lying in bed. I step closer and notice his breathtaking eyes are glazed over and staring at the ceiling. The rest of his skin on his face has been peeled away. His fingernails have been pulled off one by one and arranged neatly on his pillowcase. And words are carved in his beautiful porcelain chest. Aw, how cute! He's still in the same position as I left him last night. He must have been so exhausted. So I don't want to wake my sleeping man. So I write another note on his chest telling him that I stopped by. Walking home, I can't help but get excited for tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'm going to introduce myself to his parents. I'm sure they'll love me too. Number 2. My haunting past. You've always had trouble sleeping at night. The teeniest of sounds awaken you. Nothing seems to help dull the noise, not even earplugs. If anything, they seem to make things worse because they make her more desperate to be heard. You hear her most nights. No one else is able to hear her whispers. You wait each night under the covers anticipating her arrival. She likes to come right at the edge of sleep, snapping you back to reality with a jolt of fear. You feel her staring at you from the shadows. You feel her icy breath on the back of your neck. She leans in closer and whispers, "It's only me." You never see her, but she becomes more real with each passing night. You have been taking medication for quite some time, but nothing has changed and she still lurks in the darkness. Last night, it got too much to handle. You ran to your mother's room and curled up to her for safety. You knew your mother would be disappointed. She thought the medication was making you better. Feeling guilty and scared, you begin to sob quietly. Your mother looked uncomfortable from the noises you made and began to stir under the blankets. To comfort her, you lean in closely and whisper into her ear, "It's only me." She quickly shot up and reached for her phone. You notice she's calling the doctor. "The voices I used to hear," she says with a shaky voice. "They're back." Number 1. Tulpa. Looking for some cash. A man agrees to be part of a psychological study where he'll be locked in a solitary room and hooked up to wires that gauge his brain activity. While in this room, he was told to imagine his Tulpa, a replica of himself, and to keep the doppelganger with him as much as possible. Within a few days, he was able to keep the Tulpa's presence with him at all times. They eventually moved him to another room, equipped with speakers to test if outside stimuli affected the Tulpa's presence. The music that protruded from the walls became increasingly more disturbing and discordant, but his Tulpa always remained by his side. As time moved on and boredom consumed him, he began interacting with his imaginary twin. It was fun at first, but once when he was retelling a memory, his Tulpa corrected a detail. Obviously creeped out, the researchers reassured him that his Tulpa was actually his subconscious, and that on some level he knew he was remembering wrong and corrected himself. Soon his Tulpa followed him everywhere, even outside the research facility. Consumed by his Tulpa, he became a recluse and ignored his old friends. One day, a friend showed up at his door demanding to know why he's been ignored. Before he could apologize, his Tulpa was engulfed in rage and demanded he punch his friend. Losing all self-control, he heard his friend's nose break under his fist. His Tulpa couldn't have been happier. His doppelganger appeared to be changing. He looked more menacing with each passing day. Scared of his power, he began practicing his Tulpa not being around. But every few hours he reappeared looking more angry and changed, and the discordant music from before now followed him. When researchers found out he was trying to banish his Tulpa, they strapped him down and force-fed him copious amounts of medication so that he could no longer concentrate. The Tulpa grew stronger and more terrorizing. He became so strong he could now cause him physical pain. In the midst of describing how he was going to kill everyone he's ever loved, the Tulpa suddenly stopped. All thoughts are creative. And with that, the Tulpa walked out of the door. He awokened a few hours later unrestrained. Finally, free from this hell, he tried his hardest to forget what he had endured. Everything was looking up until he received a phone call. His sister had been the latest victim of a local serial killer. At her funeral, he was distracted. All he could hear was discordant music somewhere off in the distance, and it was growing louder and louder. Okay, there we go. Now we have enough nightmare fuel to last us for quite some time, I think. That won't stop us from covering more creepypasta very soon. I had a lot of fun playing the part of the psycho, overly attached girl. I wonder why. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you like this video, don't forget to share it with a friend. And if you're not yet part of our fantastic community, well, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button and join today. Until next time, bye!